Rolling.
Just get into it. Hit the ground rolling.
All right.
Welcome back, guys. Very excited to be sitting with Ryan from
Fit for a King.
There we go.
Oh,
I was like, I didn't know it was me.
He looked at me and I was just like,
we both got it lined up, so it worked.
Yeah, it was good. We're very professional here.
On the same page. And I'm just throwing you the deep end. I'm so sorry.
Man, thanks so much for joining us. God, is this your first time in Australia?
This is my third.
Third?
But we took an 8-year break after the second time.
It's been a very long time.
Yeah, so basically it's like I haven't been because so much has changed in 8 years.
It's this tour was booked pre-COVID, correct?
It was.
Yeah.
So this is a very long time.
It was never announced, which kind of helps.
Yeah,
because people weren't all mad about it being moved 40 times.
Is that something you guys had to do much during COVID in the States?
We had our headliner, the Dark Skies tour that got canceled 5 days in. We had like a world tour and we tried rescheduling it and fell through, and then we eventually had to let it go.
Yeah.
And it was a bummer. The fans were also pretty understanding.
I feel like as the further it went along, people sort of go, oh, this is going to happen. Like, it's no one's fault.
Yeah.
They have to be understanding. But it doesn't make it any less shitty for you guys when you're like, you're kind of like, that's the way you're connecting with the audience and your fans that's like what touring is all about.
That's your bread and butter as well for a lot of it, you know, man. Like, it's what you'd sign up to do this for.
I think that's where the panic attack set in because we had rescheduled it and I was like, there's still hope. It's 3 months. It's 3 months down the road, we'll be fine. And then when we had to cancel that, I was just like, oh my god, am I never going to tour again?
Was that ever?
Which I'm in Australia now, so
it's crazy.
We're doing it again.
Was that ever on your mind? Did you actually ever believe that we might not tour again?
It was that, or just that it was going to go 5+ years, and that I was just like, I'm going to just have to go work a different job, and they'll make me cut my hair, and then it's over.
I can't
What's
the point? You guys released the path during COVID.
Yeah.
That's a bold move. Was that something that was nerve-wracking for you guys?
It was, but we were like, you know what, we can't sit here for 2 years and not tour or do anything, so we'll roll the dice, see what happens.
And did you find that it was actually a huge success?
Yeah, it had a great first week and great reception. There's people that are bummed it didn't have enough breakdowns, which we'll address that on the new record. But
no promises.
Yeah. I can promise the breakdowns.
Okay.
Yeah, the album's done. I know there's breakdowns.
Man,
but
I fucking loved the path. I thought it was fantastic.
Thank you.
It was so much fun. Like, it had like
it's fun doing something different. Than
it was a
record.
little bit of a different sound for you, but like, I like how you guys have still always kept that. I'll say traditional metalcore sound, and haven't really fallen into the sort of hectic gent sort of style that a lot of people are doing. And at this point in your career, it's actually setting you guys apart way more than you probably anticipated.
Yeah, we grew up loving As I Lay Dying, loving Kill Switch Engage, listening to An Ocean Between Us and all that. And I just noticed bands aren't really doing it a lot. We grew up listening to a lot of Parkway Drive too.
Hell yeah.
I remember Smoke 'Em If You Got 'Em was one of my...
Yeah.
That's a throwback. Everybody likes Boneyards.
No, Smoke 'Em If You Got 'Em is, I feel like that, the first album is still a seminal album for the scene. And I think I don't know, maybe we're just old as well.
We'll see, we got Smoke 'Em If You Got 'Em like early on the EP or whatever it was.
At first, Don't Close Your Eyes EP.
Yeah. So, or was it that one that they re-released, or was it Give Me a D? No, it was Smoke 'Em If You
So it was on, that song was on an EP, then it went on to Killing with the Swan.
Yeah, so there was a small EP to start with.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I when I got into metalcore, I got into stuff, like I said, Kill Switch, As I Lay Dying, Parkway Drive, Avenged Sevenfold when they were doing a bunch of screaming.
Yeah.
And so I just kind of grew up loving that same thing. Same with Daniel, our guitar player, Bob. So.
Sorry, Johnny just had a stroke.
Oh, I got it. Man, that got away.
Yeah,
my hands are weak. These weak old hands.
I'm so glad that other people get to witness this.
Yeah.
It's just not just you and me in a room and you're just spazzing out over there.
Yeah, people often watch the reactions and they
There's
think
a reason.
He can't really be like that. No, I am. Yeah, I'm really like that.
So you touched on there that you've addressed the lack of breakdowns in the album. Is that something that plays in heavy when you guys are writing? Like actually what the feedback is from the fans? Or do you go, we want to do this, we're going to do it, if the fans like it, whatever?
I think the path was a lot of that. Like, we did Dark Skies, and it was pretty well received by fans. And then we, with the path, were just feeling really good. This was before any COVID stuff. It was recorded, a month before lockdowns or anything. So we were all happy at the time. Dark Skies, we were all sad. So it was like the first time we wrote a happy album, and let's try stuff. Let's do some like arena stuff. Let's do some weird, like The Path, like a Pantera Parkway influence thing. Let's try it. We just had fun with it, and we were just like, let's see what people think. I mean,
I feel like I only heard positive. Maybe I just haven't looked at
I heard obviously I haven't heard anything bad to the extent that Paul Parkway Drive are copping it, but
it's,
you know what I mean.
It's been an album that did well for us. We're happy with
that's good.
How it's done.
And how's your reception been here? Like, you know, especially like on this tour post-COVID.
I've been shocked how many people know the words and know the songs. It's been a very pleasant surprise.
Did you get to play in Europe before you got here, post-COVID?
No, this is our first international.
Okay,
cool.
Shit. You went as far as you could from
let's just go all the way.
Let's just 24 hours on a plane.
It might not happen, just get fucking over
it's
there.
Like, after 2 years of talking about this tour, let's go actually do the tour.
Alright, now level with this. Were you just going like, let's just fly to Australia and hope that we get locked down again so we have to stay in Australia? Yeah? Was that where you were at?
I was a little nervous about that a few months ago.
Yeah, right.
But then as things started to seem to clear up and I saw one of the politicians, what's it, a prime minister?
Yeah, ex-prime minister now, thankfully.
Said something about, we're not going to lock down anymore, we're just living with it. And I was like, alright, I think I'm safe. As far as getting stuck in Australia.
I also feel like if there's anywhere, like, we're so spacious, like America's such a crowded place, you've got like 10 times the population of us. Here, at least you can keep your distance from people when you're here, so you're less likely to get it, surely.
Yeah, COVID didn't seem to kick off for us till like 3, 4, 5 months after everyone else, so we're just like, what? Is this not real? And it's like, lockdown, shit. Do you think, now we've spoken about this to other bands like since COVID, like you mentioned how the reception here, you were shocked by everyone singing the words.
Yeah.
In a weird sort of way, do you think that COVID and the lockdowns kind of helped propel the music a little bit more because everyone was locked inside? And like I know for me, and like even with the growth of the channel, it's because everyone was just consume. Give us as much as we can have. Like give us all the live streams, give us the new albums, give us the acoustic playthroughs. Do you think that it did some of that groundwork here for you?
I think I'm not sure how it was in Australia during the time. In America, I had noticed there was actually an article I saw where streaming was down. Podcasts, music, everything. Because a large amount of consumption is when people are on the way to and from work.
Yeah, commuting.
And when you're working at home, you don't have the commute. So a lot of people that have a 45-minute commute into the city, that's a lot of songs, a lot of podcasts.
I feel like there's been maybe not so much the streaming side of things, but the urgency and demand for like live touring. Anyone we've talked to that's been on staging, it's like a fever. People are just like, they're getting there early, they're staying late, they're like watching the whole thing, which I think is only a good thing, maybe a silver lining to take from it.
Yeah, I think a lot of pent up aggression and anger and sadness from the pandemic. People are ready to go.
But also, like, it's just translating to happiness, man. Like, every show we've been to, everyone, like Nate said, is there from the get-go.
Yeah.
Everyone just looks so fucking happy and stoked to have this back. And I know that it's sort of like, it made a lot of bands, you know, bigger bands, I guess, sort of say, well, maybe we don't have to tour to the extent we used to. But it's also made a lot of people sort of go, no, I need this. I want this as much as possible.
How long has touring been back in Australia?
3 months.
Oh, so it's new.
It's new,
We played our first show back like a year ago in the States.
That just didn't happen.
I forget how fresh it is.
Yeah, we had to look like we were going to happen because we opened and then like all these shows booked and then it just got taken away again. And so there's this real like spike and drop. So it's like we had maybe 12, 15 shows that were booked in that was like all postponed.
There was some of that in the States, like we did the ABR Leveler tour.
Yeah.
And then we announced our own headliner. And there was a huge hesitation to buy tickets when it was announced because near the end of the ABR tour, a lot of COVID cases were spiking and people were like, I'm not doing this again where I have to get a refund. And so it seems like things as far as that are kind of over.
Fingers crossed, man.
Hopefully. I'm always scared. I'm at the point now where I tell people I don't get excited. It's like I think that's one of the byproducts of the pandemic. I don't get excited about future plans anymore because I'm like, well, I don't want to get my hopes up.
I get that.
So much stuff had been cancelled in the last 2 years.
Yeah, has it killed a bit of that sort of magic for you then, or does it kind of like make it even more meaningful when it does actually happen? Like you're finally in Australia. It's like,
I feel relief.
Yeah,
it sucks because there's never that. I'm excited to play every night, but it's like it's a feeling of relief more than just like pumped.
Yeah,
just like, oh, thank God it's happening.
Just the post washover of I did it.
Yeah,
it actually happened.
It's like when you get on a huge roller coaster and you don't want to. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. You're on the roller coaster. I think I'm gonna die, and then afterwards, like I did. Yay!
Yeah, and like because you still see things like Parkway canceled their U.S. tour and bands are still canceling stuff. So whenever we're supporting, I'm like, don't cancel, please.
Yeah, stick it out.
Yeah, so there's this stuff that I never once thought about in 10 years of touring. Like, I hope this tour happens. It was always just, we booked a tour and it's happening.
With the not getting excited, is there a band that you would get excited for? What's your dream band to tour with? Artist, live, dead, broken up, still going?
I mean, it would have been Prime Linkin Park.
Oh, dude.
I would have loved. Yeah, Prime Linkin Park. Getting to watch, like, if there's like a Meteora tour, because then they'd be playing all the Hybrid Theory Meteora stuff.
Yeah. That's the first we've had that answer, and that made me a little bit upset.
It makes me hate myself even more, because, like, I never saw them. And then one year they played at Soundwave, and we were watching them, and they were just playing all the more sort of dance pop stuff, and I'm like, I'm going to go watch someone else. I'll see Linkin Park another time. And then
he left and they played all the heavy stuff, and I'm still there for it, and I still love it to this day.
I saw them in 2017. I've only seen them once. My wife surprised me with tickets, and it was them, 30 Seconds to Mars, and AFI.
Oh, shit.
So it was a great lineup.
That's a good lineup.
They played a Hybrid Theory medley where they played every song, like highlights of every song of Hybrid Theory.
That's a cool way of doing it. I know Bring Me do that sometimes. They do some like real early, Pray for Plagues, Come Down, Chelsea Smile. It's like a real quick snippets.
Yeah.
I would like to hear that from more bands. We're not going to give everything, but we know that you want to hear this. Here's a taste.
Here's all the like parts we know.
Yeah. We can get away with screaming, right?
Yeah.
Hey, so what's the most Australian thing you've seen or heard since you've been here? And you can't say like koalas or kangaroos. Like,
I haven't seen it. I saw kangaroos, side of the road. I'd say the most Australian thing was just there was this man that I couldn't understand a single word he was saying.
Was it Johnny?
Let's hear your best Australian accent.
I won't say any Steve Irwin stuff. Like, we all know the word.
Yeah.
Because every Australian said that. Nobody says that.
Crikey.
Yeah. See, I was trying not to say it. I was like, I'm going to make it through this whole thing without saying
No, do it, man.
stereotypical.
Why are you here? Own it.
How you doing, mate?
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Way better than your accents.
Oh, I don't know about that. Anyway.
Yeah, that's it.
Come on.
Let's hear your American accents.
My American accent? I don't think it's that bad.
You started with California.
I've noticed
Southern.
Because I can only do it if I go super Southern, you know. Otherwise, I just sound like a fucking idiot.
You still sound like an idiot.
I sound like fucking what's her name, Ruth off.
Do you know I started following? Have you followed Robert Irwin?
A son, right?
His son.
Yeah.
He's just like mini.
Dude,
not that mini.
Splitting image,
and as wholesome. Yeah. Action was like. Because when I was young.
Does he say the word? Though?
He doesn't say crikey, but he has the vibe of Steve Irwin. Go follow Robert Irwin on anything. He actually is. It's like real good vibes. Does the whole like, found this little fella on the side of the road. He's trying to bite me, but it's okay. Like real, and he's like, that snake is trying to bite you, but you are chill about it. I don't know. I like that.
I've noticed when Australians or someone, anyone with an accent, usually British or Australian, they default to like very Californian when they're doing American. Like, hey man, let's go get Taco Bell.
It's because that's what you see on TV. That's the like Hollywood pushed. I don't know. That's the accent you hear the most.
I've also noticed you guys never do it for fun, where we're always just like poorly doing Australian accents. Like
the whole reason I called that is because Dickhead over here does accents.
We got a bunch of bogans out in the crowd tonight.
I like that.
Yeah, we got a. Did I use that properly?
Yeah, you did.
Right.
And you know what? If you're gonna get him, it's Newcastle.
I want to hear you say tonight. One of you bogans gonna do a shoey.
Oh, I don't know what it means. So I guess.
Don't.
You know what a shoey is?
Don't say that.
Don't
a shoey is when they pour the beer in the shoe and they.
Okay.
I
You will
personally
see
fucking hate it. I hate that that's associated with being Australian.
Yeah.
This guy's probably someone to
The
encourage.
venue already kind of smells like throw up and
Doesn't
beer.
it? I thought
Combined,
it
so we
did,
just that'll just bring more of that into the.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm here for it.
Is that a Newcastle thing? Throw up and beer? Or?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's-
Sorry,
Newcastle
Novocastrians.
it doesn't have the best reputation. It is beautiful. Like, it's a coastal area. It's really lovely.
Oh, I've loved walking around. The weather here
Stunning.
destroys.
But
Sorry, Adelaide and Hobart, but I've enjoyed the weather here more.
But the actual place itself doesn't have the best reputation.
Yeah. That's alright.
There's some good bands from here, though.
There are some great
Fuck
bands
yeah,
from
there
here.
is.
Yeah. So I'll let you take this question. You had one lined up.
Did I?
You went to say something and we talked about the weather.
No, man, I'm good.
Okay. Well, I want to talk about this being like, what's been your favorite tour memory?
From this tour in general.
Any tour.
I would say favorite tour memory. This is like a bittersweet one, but our last show before lockdowns in the States began, we got a call from our agent and was like, "Hey, your whole tour is about to get canned." And we were 5 into a world tour, like 78 shows. He's like, "Your whole tour is getting shut down." But there was a couple cities we were able to sneak in before the shutdowns went into.
Okay.
And then one of them was our Chicago date, but it was a suburb outside of Chicago's county.
Okay.
And that county did not have a lockdown yet. And the promoter was like, "I don't care, just play it." And it was going to be the last show of the tour.
Okay.
So we played it, and it was our biggest show headliner we've ever done.
Nice.
No, it just happened. Maybe I swallowed the fly.
I actually saw him buzz and ring him before a little.
That's you
Okay, maybe
recording would have saved everyone the
I
trouble.
did catch him, he got out. Anyway, we like to make people feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I like to make people uncomfortable.
I
So,
begrudgingly go along with it.
yeah. So we're going to do some would you rathers.
I'll finish the memory too.
Oh, yeah, you've got to
Just
listen
swallow
to
the fly, yeah. Please.
Oh,
I
okay,
swallowed the
yeah,
fly.
you
He
do.
was trying to stop me from talking. He was trying to censor it. No, but we played. It was sold out. It was the biggest headliner show we'd ever done, and also the last show for 2 years.
Yeah, right.
And it was memorable for good and bad reasons because of, obviously the show was amazing, but also like we were backstage with Crystal Lake, Alpha Wolf, and they were just devastated. 'Cause
Yeah.
all that trouble.
Tour
that-
too, yeah.
So it was the first time everybody was just. It was just dead silent.
Yeah.
Backstage,
Oh, really?
And everybody was
That would be
just
such a hard thing as well, being like
5
knowing
shows
this
in.
is our last one. We can't do
everybody's so confused, like what's happening. And
Yeah.
So I'd say memorable. Show was amazing and just memorable. Like it's an environment that hopefully we never have to deal with again.
Everything's crossed.
Yeah. Now we can do some would you rather.
Alright, let's
Yeah.
do that. Alright, so would you rather be a Marvel character or a Star Wars character, and who would you be?
I think it would be. See if you're going for like. I'm gonna go with. I'll be Thor.
Cool.
Nice.
The light hair.
Yeah,
First
good
off,
pick.
I'm not just sucking up to the Australians because of who plays Thor.
We don't get it, Australia.
You all love the
It's just-
Hemsworths.
I'm indifferent. I don't like
Really?
not love them, but I'm not like
I think they're fucking rad.
yeah, indifferent. I don't know enough about them. I like them as Thor.
Yeah, it's good as Thor.
I don't know much about them.
But he has a crazy power, and the reason I chose Thor, not because he's like jacked and can shoot
Because you already got that
lightning,
going on.
and
Yeah.
he also has the long hair. But Jedi aren't allowed to like marry or date or anything.
Already
Oh.
married. Have to divorce.
I know, I'd have to divorce
Damn.
my wife. Not gonna do that, even if you can use the Force. I could be a Sith though.
Oh,
Yeah,
we
that's
got red
true.
lighting going on.
Yeah, we had the red light,
sure. Yeah,
But I
that's
mean,
it.
you end up always with the short end of the stick when you're a Sith.
Or short end of the saber.
You eventually get cut in half or burned
usually,
alive
yeah.
or whatever. So
I'm gonna go along with this like kind of make-believe thing. Would you rather be Gandalf or Dumbledore?
I'd say Gandalf.
Why?
Hell yeah.
Gandalf he has the white horse thing going for him. You don't ever see Dumbledore on a horse.
That's the reason he doesn't have a horse.
But the more I'm thinking about it, Dumbledore is probably stronger.
Yeah, I think Dumbledore's a fucking badass. And
I
you
get bummed he
yeah.
doesn't use his powers enough though.
Yeah.
Where
true.
Gandalf seems to like, but Gandalf also uses his sword.
Yeah,
Pretty great.
he's pretty good with the sword.
And the "you shall not pass." Dumbledore
that moment,
yeah, he doesn't have a line.
Yeah, but he does the swirl and the fire thing, and there's the creatures coming out of the water. And
yeah, cool.
Anyway, I'm with that. I'll get Dumbledore. Anyway.
That one's a harder one, I feel like.
Yeah. Would you rather have permanent monobrow or no eyebrows at all? You can't draw them on. You can't shave the middle. Yeah. I mean, you can bedazzle it or whatever you want. You can dye it. Like,
don't add options.
I feel like no eyebrows, because when you have a unibrow, it would be like people would just assume that I just don't care about grooming at all.
Have you seen yourself without an eyebrow?
It's bad.
It's so much worse. I haven't seen you without it, but anyone without an eyebrow is so much worse than you think. Everyone see that and then see himself like, I don't know.
But I feel like unibrows, and I feel people probably wouldn't make fun of me if I had no eyebrows. Yes. They'd see my alopecia or something.
Yes, exactly. That was my thing, because they might think you're sick. An eyebrow, they just go.
They won't bully you because you're like, oh, I don't want to like. They're like, I don't want to like come off.
Exactly.
I forgot I was teasing about mine.
Yeah, I think you get teased more for a unibrow.
I like monobrow.
You looks. I just think it's rough either way.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
But that's why it's a good either or.
Finishing off with the classic one that's divided everyone. Would you rather play a show you've got to go on wearing wet, cold socks or wet, cold underwear?
Honestly, probably the underwear.
Why?
I just think the smushing around on stage.
Yeah.
Like none of it's gonna. Well, none of it's gonna feel good, but it's like the socks are just. And I feel like your body temperature is more regulated by your feet.
Ooh. That is a thing, but only normally when you sleep. If you've got cold feet, you can't
I feel like.
But if you walked around like. Even when it's cold outside and your feet are cold, and it's like, it doesn't matter how big your jacket is, it doesn't matter how many layers.
Have you walked around outside with wet underwear?
Probably never. Hopefully.
I'm just saying.
That's,
I'm the odd one out on this one.
But I feel like wet feet, because if you're walking around with wet socks and it's cold, it doesn't matter if you're wearing like 3 jackets. If your feet are cold, you're miserable.
Yeah, exactly. And when you have cold feet, man, it feels like there's, like when they're wet, it feels like there's razor blades going into them. It's
Next festival we do,
you go in cold socks.
No, you have to have both.
Why?
Because you're the one that disagrees with me.
And you have to say which one's bothering you more.
We'll do both full tilts, which are both happening in winter, and you can do one with wet socks, cold wet socks, and then one in cold wet underwear.
And going down to Tassie.
And we'll see how long you go on both. And then it's a good, everyone's with me on this one.
This is a shit go. This is a shit go.
Ryan's here, he's representing. So
yeah.
Dude, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
Appreciate it, man. Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you too.
Let's get what you play.